Hey guys, welcome to a mini Motorways video. Today, we will be talking about traffic lights. What are traffic lights then? Traffic lights in mini motorways control the flow of traffic, and generally, this should be a good thing in real life. In mini motorways, this is a very different story. It's a game about getting cars from point A to point B as efficiently and as quickly as possible. To have traffic lights that disrupt the flow of traffic should be a negative. This video will talk about the positives and the negatives of a traffic light. Before we start, I'd like to say that this is mostly my opinion, and surely there is a more efficient way of using the stoplights than the way I described it. I am by no means a good player, but I have played enough to think that I am at least a decent one. Traffic lights, as mentioned earlier, manage the flow of traffic. So to say they're completely useless is to completely disregard an important part of the game. The best way I've found to use traffic lights is when two or more colors merge and cross into the same road. That way there is some semblance of order. Or if there is a double destination where two different colored destinations for your houses to go to. In which case it is incredibly important, as multiple colored houses will eventually merge into the same lane unless you make good use of both entrances. It also helps keep the traffic going in an orderly fashion in high traffic areas, so cars don't get stuck in a deadlock and ultimately traffic your city to death. However, if used wrong, the traffic lights you put down to manage the traffic will end up being the demise of your city. So now the negatives. In addition to being somewhat difficult to use, as mentioned earlier, traffic lights stop your flow of traffic. If used in abundance, you will end up creating gridlocks, which stop and ruin your flow in traffic. And that is what ultimately kills your city. In this game, you want to minimize your traffic and create the most efficient motorway possible. Yes, traffic lights can help if you have multiple colors merging and crossing on the same road at once, but you'd want to avoid that scenario whenever possible. And instead of traffic lights, a much more viable option is to make use of motorways. A well-placed motorway can easily change the fate of your city and can be the difference between setting a new high score and going home with a score of 500. A motorway will always be useful, no matter where you place it, unless you've messed up that badly. Whereas a poorly placed traffic light can easily choke and kill your city entirely, thus ending your run. So here's my verdict. Stoplights are useful. In fact, I'd say they're very useful. Early on in the game when you need something to manage your flow of traffic without creating an overabundance of roads everywhere. Since roads are few and far between in the beginning, you only get them every Sunday. And 1 week in the game can end up feeling like a lifetime when you're out of roads with a million traffic lights and nothing to manage your city properly with. However, later on, as your road begins to stack and you can afford to waste them, a much better option by the name of Motorways become available, further allowing you to maximize the efficiency of your road system. However, should you look to traffic lights as a long-term solution to your problems? No, definitely not. Even in the beginning, they should be used sparingly, as, believe it or not, motorways actually do become available pretty early on. Finally, to conclude, I hope everyone takes my words with a grain of salt. I'm just an average mini motorways player, but anyway, I hope you still found something useful in my mediocrity, and thanks for watching.